Those of you that might not have been keeping up with me, my furnace actually went out on me in my house and it is cold. I am so cold. After I get done with this video, I'm going to get back under my covers. But, ladies and gentlemen, when traveling across a bridge or an overpass in America, every now and then my mind kind of goes to how safe is this bridge that I'm traveling over. I know many people do this all the time without even thinking. You just go across the bridge. But in this article that came out in USA Today, they are saying that many of the bridges across the country are in serious trouble. I mean, how often are these bridges really inspected? Do they put them up and not even go back and properly inspect them all the time? And you got to wonder, the vibration from all the cars going across the bridge constantly. You would think they should be out there all the time inspecting those bridges to make sure they're safe, but it's not being done like you think. In fact, True Royal Family and we spoke about this recently, about a week ago. And a few days ago, I sent her an article of an overpass that had collapsed in Tennessee. So, yeah, this is a serious problem. U.S. bridges are in serious trouble. It would take 80 years to fix national problem of deficient structures. Wow. That is scary. All right, so they're saying 62 years for deficient bridges, the average age, and the rest of the bridges are around 40 years old in the U.S. Wow. And this is a collapsed bridge in Florida that you see right here in this video picture. Wow. Trump is in the same boat as Democratic leaders. They are under increasing pressure to do something about the aging infrastructure of the nation bridges. The recently released annual report by the American Road and Transportation Builders Association, based on an analysis of data from the Department of Transportation, paints a grim picture of bridges throughout the country. For Trump and the Democrats, the aging infrastructure was one of the rare points both sides agreed on during the 2016 presidential election buildup. More than 2 years later, the problem of bridges continued to fester. The report said 47,052 of the nation's 616,087 bridges, so that's the majority. No, that's like 7.6%. Yeah, but where are these structures? Are these structures in major city locations or where there's big populations? That's what I would like to know. Are structurally deficient and in poor condition. The combined distance spanning those structures are nearly 1,100 miles, but about the same time as the drive from Chicago to Houston, the report pointed out. Just as damning, ARTBA said the pace of bridge improvement is at its slowest point in 5 years. And at that clip, it would take more than 80 years to replace or repair all of them. Wow. As recently as last year, the figure was 37 years. The report makes clear that it's about time Congress and the Trump administration stop talking and start solving this national problem. Yeah, I agree. Wow, this is the Brooklyn Bridge. Boy, do I remember. I've traveled over that quite a few times in my life. The Brooklyn Bridge in New York. And they're saying it's a deficient structure. So it's one of those bridges that's in need of repair. While it is clear that ARTBA, which advocates for investment in transportation infrastructure, has a vested interest in the matter, the number it presents are nonetheless striking. Among them, driving across the compromised structure 178 million times a day, including such well known spans as the Brooklyn Bridge, the Arlington Memorial Bridge over the Potomac River in Washington, D.C., and the San Mateo Bridge over San Francisco Bay. The average age of the structure deficient bridges is 62 years, while the rest average 40 years. 235,020 of the bridges, or 38%, need repair, replacement, or other major work, with a cost estimate of close to $171 billion. One out of every three interstate highway bridges are in need of repairs, and about 1,775 of them are regarded as structurally deficient. Wow. Structurally deficient bridges. Wow. It's too many as far as I'm concerned. Being structurally deficient does not mean a bridge is about to collapse, but rather that it rates at a 4 or below on a safety scale of 0 to 9 in at least one of 4 critical elements. Okay. America's bridge network is outdated, underfunded, and in urgent need of modernization, said Alexon Primro Black, the ARTBA chief economist who conducted the analysis. State and local governments just haven't been given the necessary resources to get the job done. All right, so you got to ask, why is this being neglected then? The Trump administration has proposed a $1 trillion infrastructure plan that would include only $200 billion in federal investment over 10 years, with the rest of the money supposedly coming from the state, local, and private sources. In other words, the federal outlay to fix roads, train tracks, and bridges would suffice to cover the latter, but leave major questions about the rest. Congressional leaders and the White House have been in discussions about a bipartisan infrastructure bill, raising hopes one may be introduced in May. My question is, if they know this is not some information you come by at the spur of the moment. You had to know for a long time that these bridges were in need of repair. And why did it take so long for this infrastructure issue to even come up? There is a small bridge around me that has gone out a couple of times, and they had to come back and rebuild this bridge. And you know how dangerous that is? There's a lot of people that travel on that bridge. Cars are constantly going across. It takes you from one town into another neighboring town. And that road that leads to that bridge has been out several times. And that bridge had to be replaced. And it makes me wonder. I mean, it's a small bridge, it's not even a major bridge. And it makes me wonder how many other bridges in this country has been that same way. I'm sure this is not the only one, far from it. But that's scary to know um, something like this. That is pretty scary. You know, millions of people are traveling across bridges every day. I did. I did it for a long time. I had jobs in that I had to drive over to Pennsylvania to do every day. So I went across that bridge quite often. But please tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell. And I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.